let's talk about something that makes a lot of us nervous: economic downturns. Look, they're going to happen, right? It's just a fact of life. And yeah, they can be super stressful. But here's the thing: while you can't stop a storm from brewing, you can absolutely learn how to sail right through it. So I've got to ask you, straight up, are your finances stormproof? And I mean really stormproof. It's a tough question, I know, but answering it honestly, that's the very first step to building the kind of financial strength that can weather anything. So I want you to think of this as your personal survival guide, your captain's manual, if you will. We're going to imagine your finances are a ship, and together we're going to walk through how to prep that ship before the storm, how to navigate through it, and maybe most importantly, how to rebuild even stronger once the waters finally calm down. Ready? Let's get into it. All right, first things first, preparation. I mean, think about it. The best sea captains don't just sit around waiting for the hurricane warnings to start battening down the hatches, right? Nope, they're proactive. And that's exactly what separates a successful voyage from a total disaster. And for us, being proactive means doing a full, no-holds-barred, honest-to-goodness assessment of your financial health. You've got to know your ship inside and out. What are its strengths? Where are the weak spots? You need to know exactly what you're working with before those waves even start to get choppy. Okay, let's start with the most critical part: cash flow. This is the engine of your financial ship. It's that simple. It's all about what's coming in versus what's going out. And if more is going out than coming in, well, your engine's going to start to sputter. And trust me, a sputtering engine is the last thing you want in the middle of a storm. You absolutely have to have a crystal clear map of this flow if you want to stay afloat. Next up, we have to talk about something scary: debt, specifically high interest debt. I want you to picture this as leaks in the hull of your ship. You know, a tiny little hole might not seem like a big deal when the water's calm, but when a real downturn hits and the waves start crashing, that tiny leak can turn into a gaping hole fast, and it can sink you. Patching these leaks has got to be priority number one. And that brings us to your spending. Let's call this the cargo on your ship. Now, some of that cargo is absolutely essential, right? You need your food, your shelter, but let's be real, some of it is just extra weight. It's weighing you down. And knowing the difference between what's essential and what's not, that's the secret to staying light and agile enough to dodge the worst of the waves. So all of this boils down to 3 concrete, actionable steps you can take right now. First, you gotta build your lifeboat. And that lifeboat is a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Seriously, this is non-negotiable. Second, tighten up that budget early. Do it before you're forced to. And third, get to work patching those leaks in the hull by attacking that high-interest debt with everything you've got. Okay, so you've done the prep work. Your ship is as ready as it's ever going to be. But now, you see it on the horizon. The storm has arrived. And this is where the strategy totally changes. It's no longer about preparation. It's all about survival. It's about navigating the chaos. When you're in the middle of the crisis, forget about growth. That's not the goal. The goal is survival. Period. Your entire focus has to shift to one thing: stability. Just keeping the ship level, keeping it pointed in the right direction, no matter how massive those waves get. So what does that look like in practice? What are your defensive moves? Number 1, protect that cash flow engine at all costs. Number 2, keep cash on hand. Liquidity, having access to cash, is your superpower in a crisis. And number 3, this is not the time to take on new liabilities. No new debt. And for the debt you already have, you have to manage that pressure constantly. Look, this is where the really tough choices come in. It's time to jettison the excess cargo. The essentials, they stay. Your rent or mortgage, your utilities, your groceries, that stuff stays on board. But all the non-essentials, the dozen streaming subscriptions, the impulse buys, the little luxuries, I'm sorry, but they have to go overboard. You've got to lighten the load. This isn't about comfort anymore, it's about survival. And maybe the most important part of all of this is what's going on in your head. You have to manage your mindset. Panic is your absolute worst enemy here. It triggers all those primal fears, right? It's what makes people sell their investments at the absolute worst possible moment. A calm, rational captain knows one thing for sure. It's the panicked, emotional decisions that sink the ship, not the storm itself. Okay, take a deep breath. You made it. You navigated the worst of it. The storm is finally passing, and you can see the sky starting to clear up. But listen, now is not the time to just go back to normal. This is about rebuilding. It's about coming back smarter and a whole lot stronger than you were before. You know, every storm leaves lessons behind. And this recovery phase, it's a golden opportunity. It's your chance to take everything you just went through and use it to strengthen your financial ship for every single voyage from here on out. This is where real, lasting resilience is forged. Think of it like a post-voyage inspection. It's time to go through, system by system, and assess the damage. This little checklist here is your guide. First, how's that emergency fund looking? Did you have to dip into it? Okay. Now, what's the deal with your debt? Did you have to take on more? And what about your income? For each of these areas, you need a clear priority action to get your ship back into fighting shape.
The absolute key here is to not let these lessons, which, let's face it, were hard-won, just fade away. You have to turn them into permanent habits. Remember that disciplined spending you were forced to learn during the storm? Keep doing it. That nagging thought you had about diversifying your income? Now's the time to make it a reality. A great first step? Just sit down and list out your skills. What are you good at? What do you enjoy? Could any of that become a side hustle? You have to start treating every downturn not as a disaster, but as a training exercise that makes you a better, smarter captain.
Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's boil this all down. Let's distill it into more than just a list of rules. Let's make it a core philosophy, the kind of mindset that every great captain has, no matter what the weather looks like. Rule number 1. A good captain is a good lookout. You're always scanning the horizon, always monitoring the economic weather, so to speak. Seeing those warning signs early gives you the most precious resource in the world, time. Rule number 2, your emergency fund is your lifeboat. And let me be clear, a lifeboat is not some optional luxury upgrade. It is essential, standard equipment. It's not just money. It's your ability to get out of a bad situation and live to fight another day. Never, ever leave port without it. Rule number 3, protect your engine at all costs. Your cash flow is your propulsion. It's your power. It's the one thing that gives you options when you're surrounded by complete chaos. Keeping that engine running has to be your number 1 priority, always. And finally, rule number 4. This is the ultimate captain's mindset. A storm is a test. It's not just a threat. It's designed to reveal every single one of your hidden weaknesses, and in doing so, it forces you to become a better, more skilled navigator. Every single downturn you get through makes you that much stronger, that much wiser for the next one. Because let's be real, there's always a next storm on the horizon. That's the one thing we can be sure of. So the only question that really matters is this. When it appears, will you be ready to stand on that deck, look it right in the eye, and confidently take the helm?